What is up, everybody? Fantasy here today, and we're gonna talk about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on PS5. Apparently, this game is not doing great. Only around 2 million copies being sold is what's being reported. And it's definitely behind the Final Fantasy VII Remake and Final Fantasy 16 sales data. So either PlayStation gamers are not buying games, or people just uninterested in Final Fantasy at this point in time, which it's kind of crazy because Final Fantasy VII is like the main line of Final Fantasy. When you think of Final Fantasy to a casual, they think of Cloud and Sephiroth. So it's been getting so many mainstream appeal even since like the PS1, PS2 generation, with their characters being like in games like Kingdom Hearts. They have their own movie. Final Fantasy VII is a big culture shock to the Final Fantasy franchise because Final Fantasy was a franchise, but didn't get really big until Final Fantasy VII. So the fact that this remake of this classic game is getting no love, it just shows like these exclusivity deals are not good. They need to stop this ASAP. Stop doing these stupid exclusivity deals with PlayStation with PS5 only. This game should have been on PC and Xbox as well, but I guess Square Enix is never going to learn because, once again, another game that's flopping for that PS5 exclusivity. So, this is from PushSquare.com where they go into detail. Pretty much they say, unless the game is breaking records, it's quite rare that we get direct sales data from publishers, and Square Enix in particular is somewhat notorious for this. As such, interested parties usually have little choice but to try and determine commercial success through other means. One way to do this is to look at player tracking data, and this is exactly what entertainment analyst firm Ampere has been doing for recent PS5 exclusive Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So they pretty much, I guess, they look at the trophy data or whatever and seeing people actively playing the game, and there was only around like 2 million people. Let me see. Final Fantasy VII Remake, the original PS4 version, and Rebirth predecessor managed 3.5 million sales in just 3 days. While this one, the PS5 daily active user data suggests that it surpassed at least 2 million copies since its launch on the 29th. That's a big gap. So however long this has been out, since the 29th of February, is nowhere near the 3.5 million the remake got in 3 days, which is crazy. So it's a massive drop off in this franchise, which both for PlayStation exclusive franchises at that. So less people just want it. I don't know. Maybe PlayStation gamers aren't really buying games like that, which is kind of sad to see because this is a big RPG and they aren't buying it. It's like these people are going to put more money towards GTA 6, Fortnite, and a Madden or a 2K game. It's like y'all are doing the Japanese RPG, the headline Japanese RPG franchise. Y'all doing them dirty. That's just sad. Like, jeez. But what do people have to say about this? I think it's definitely disappointing, but let's see what other people got to say about this. I would have expected 2 million pre-orders for a game this big. That's shocking, frankly. Yeah, even with the whole pandering campaign they did, like having like the female characters in bikinis on the beach, that still wasn't enough to make people buy this game. They still said, nope, we're not buying it, which is kind of sad. Apparently, Colin Moriarty mentioned something about this on one of his shows, how it's really a bad way to try to get player numbers because it assumes players are syncing their trophy data. So now we're making up this excuse that people who are most going to be online are not going to be online to sync up their trophy data. That makes a lot of sense. People are just throwing out any type of excuse to justify why people aren't buying this game. If Square Enix ever makes a Final Fantasy VII Remake Complete Edition with all 3 games combined into one, perhaps for the PS6, I don't think people he says gonna sell very well. I don't think that's the case. It's kind of like people are probably gonna buy when it first releases. Sure, there might be a few stragglers down the line, but most people probably gonna play this when it first comes out. So, looks plausible given all of the data points. If true, this is a fiasco and another round of layoffs is imminent. Yeah, not a good look. That's like, yeah, Forspoken, which didn't do well. They had to lay off some people. And now their mainland Japanese game isn't doing well. What's the last hope? The last bastion of hope is Kingdom Hearts 4. It's like, other than that, people definitely getting laid off if that game don't do well. Which I hope Kingdom Hearts does well, but by the way it's going, it's not looking too great. But it's important to remember that direct sequels often struggle to keep pace, so sequels don't do as well as these excuses, boy. They just coming out the woodwork with these excuses to why the PlayStation audience isn't buying this game. This was literally one of the core franchises for the PlayStation 1 generation, but you mean a few generations later, you don't want to buy the remake of that game? That don't make sense to me. I believe the Final Fantasy series is losing its identity with the whole transition into real-time action adventure style. I don't think that's it. There's too many action games right now for people. People are just playing these Twitch shooters. It's like people are fine with action games. I don't think that's what's causing this decline in sales. I think the PlayStation audience just don't buy games. They definitely don't buy exclusives at that. I think that's the real issue here. If it's a big third party game, they'll buy it. But if it's a mainline first party game, they talk a big talk saying how they support these exclusives, but they don't end up buying these games. They really don't. With the way people talk online, I was expecting it to sell more than Final Fantasy 16 did at launch. Granted, I didn't buy it until a week ago. I wonder how many copies have been sold but not played yet. I know people have bought the game and not even installed it yet. So this is the excuse. People have paid a full $70 and just haven't installed it yet. What type of excuse is that? Like, yeah, I'm gonna buy a game for full price but just not install it. That makes a lot of sense. 2 million seems low. I'm enjoying Rebirth far more than Remake. That said, the wow factor Remake is not here anymore. People were longing to see Final Fantasy 7 again before, and now that thrill has passed. I think it will have long-term success. It's an objectively incredible game, one of the biggest franchises ever. It will be fine. Well, I don't know if it's going to be fine. We could think that, but I don't know if that's true, because those sales numbers are saying otherwise. At the end of the day, these companies need to make money. If these games aren't making money, then layoffs, firings happen. So, and this isn't like the random throwaway projects. This is their main stuff that's not doing well. So, I think they just need to say, hey, they need to stop doing these PlayStation exclusivity deals because it's not looking good. But I'm gonna include it right here. This game may be a great game, but once again, if nobody's buying the game, ultimately the game's gonna flop and people are gonna be laid off. So, and that's gonna be probably not gonna get a sequel at this point if nobody's buying this stuff. So, not a good look, but definitely want to see your thoughts down below. Do you think that this is a major issue? Do you think it's gonna be settled out over time, but more people get to buy this game either on PlayStation or if they make it multi-plat eventually? Who knows? But definitely want to see your thoughts down below about this. Leave a like if you like this video, and as always, thanks for watching, and peace.